All right, all right, all right. Day 7, absolute torturing drive of 670 miles from Great Falls, Montana to Cheyenne, Wyoming. It took us roughly 10 hours of driving. And before I start telling you how I feel about Wyoming, I will say there's a huge difference between western and eastern Wyoming. All right. The west, it kind of hugs and skirts Yellowstone National Park. You'll find yourself driving along rivers, have awesome scenery. The east, which is where I drove through, was just ranches and wind farms for literally as far as you can see. You go through like hayfield after hayfield, small towns. There's like towns that look like they've just been kind of like destroyed by like the meth pandemic and other drug issues. And it's just not very pretty. So hope to never do this drive leg again. And if I do, I don't know. I would almost rather drive in a huge circle than do this leg again. Again, the truck drove great today, and today was kind of like the hottest my truck's ever really been in a very long time, being up in Alaska, as well as just I kid you not, we stopped for maybe 30 minutes for 10 hours straight. So it was just 10 hours straight of me cruise controlling 78 miles an hour and passing people going like 90 ish when I would do passes, and the truck didn't hesitate at all, man. Like I had you have the power with the V8 to make passes at this speed. Comparing it to like my 2018 Tacoma that I had for a while, and it's just honestly bulletproof. So that's great. All right, so that was kind of Debbie Downer. So when we did get to Cheyenne, we went to Cahill Park. It was a beautiful park. It had a huge soccer field, a lot of area for the dogs to play. The kids had fun, and if it weren't for some crackheads that showed up and kind of ruined the experience, we probably would have stayed there longer than we did. But that can happen anywhere, so not really a dig on Wyoming. This was honestly like the first drive that we didn't stop and kind of adventure in the city we drove into. We drove straight to the park. It had great reviews. It was great. And then we went straight to the hotel. The kids were just over it. This drive, I'm glad it was like in the back end of our entire trip, because if we would have started our journey with a drive like this, I don't think the kids would have tolerated the next day and the day after, and just the back-to-back days. So I'm really glad we did this, because the, the last 2.5, 3 hours of the drive was miserable for my wife and I in the front seat, with how much just whining and complaining that the kids were doing in the back seat. And I don't blame them. I was in the front seat and I found myself whining and complaining about how like just shitty this drive was. So that's nice, but we did it for a good reason. The day after this, we went to Colorado Springs to visit friends that we hadn't seen in almost 6 years, and our kids just had to deal with an hour and a half, 2 hour drive, and then they just played in the backyard and played with water toys and just enjoyed the next day. So it was worth it, but man, it sucked. So thanks for watching. Drive safe, guys.